Hey guys, it's Dana and it's time to talk about money. And in this video, I wanted to talk about sinking funds, categories, how to save, where to save, how much to save. So let's talk about that. Okay, so when we were getting out of debt, I was really confused because if you follow Dave Ramsey, he talks about baby step one is save $1,000, and any other money you can get your hands on, you throw it at your debt. But then obviously you have things that come up that you know are going to come up, such as car repairs, and that's going to come up, it's known, or Christmas. I always use Christmas, it's a really great example. You know Christmas is coming every year and you're going to need money for it. So are you supposed to be saving for it, or are you just, what happens that month when it comes up, and if you don't have the money, or if you have, something, a tire blows on your car, you got to pay for a new tire. And so I was like, well, we were not supposed to save. But you actually are supposed to save in a sinking fund. A sinking fund, if you haven't heard that term before, means that you are saving for something that's sinking, like a boat, and it's going to need to be repaired. So things that are going downhill, just things that you know are coming up. So that is a sinking fund, and so that means you do need to be saving, right? Even if you're trying to get out of debt, you do need to have more money set aside in addition to your emergency fund. Emergencies are for unplanned events. You have no idea it's going to happen. That's an emergency. But other things that you know are going to happen, such as car repairs. In Pennsylvania, we have annual car inspections. It's usually around $100. Every year it's required to have your car inspected in order to drive it. So we know we're going to have to do that every year. And Christmas, we know we're going to have to pay some money for Christmas because we have 4 kids. So if we want to buy them some gifts or, do some giving, we know we're going to need money set aside for that. So if you're not trying to get out of debt, maybe you want to beef up your sinking funds, or you want to have additional sinking funds for other items. But anyway, so I wanted to talk in this video about our categories, our sinking funds, and where we place them. So we have multiple bank accounts, and this is not necessary. You can have one checking account, one savings account. You can save everything in there for all your different categories. If you're really good, with a spreadsheet, or just with, knowing in your head how much is set aside for each category, you can do it that way. But we do have different accounts because for me it makes it easier because I have direct deposit with my paycheck. So through my employer, I can set up as many accounts as I want to with direct deposit, which is really nice. I know some employers, some companies put a limit on it where you can only do 3 different bank accounts for direct deposit. So you might have to transfer things around yourself. But I have unlimited. So we for sure always have a separate bank account for Christmas. And so every single paycheck, I put $50 in, it just goes direct deposit into this Christmas bank account. And then with that bank account, I use a debit card that's linked to that account that says Christmas on it. And then I use that for all of our Christmas purchases. We also have what is a car account in a separate bank account, and in there I have money set aside every paycheck for car repairs and for car replacement. We also have a separate bank account that's labeled kids, and this is where we save money for kids' activities or for school supplies, for kids' field trips, which they're not doing this year, but any kind of things for the kids, for school, kids' clothes, all of that goes into this kids account, and that debit card has a sticker on it that says kids. I mean, it just makes it really easy for me to see, what we're spending, and it makes it really helps. Every year I track our spending too to see how much we're spending on the kids in activities, or how much we've budgeted, so that way I can make sure that with direct deposit I'm putting in however much we've budgeted for the year for the kids. And obviously whatever sinking fund category you have to have an idea how much money you're going to need annually for that specific category. So for car, if you can track your past car expenses, how much are you paying in repair, or how much do you plan to spend on a new car? If you want to budget, $10,000 for a brand new car that you want to buy, or not a brand new car, maybe a new to you car, and you're going to want to buy that car in 2 years, you can do the math, figure out how much money you need to save save per paycheck to be, or per month, however you're doing it, to be put into this account so that when the time comes to buy that new car, you have the money or the cash, as I always say. You have it sitting there so you can go purchase that car. So you should always be saving something, in my opinion, for car replacement, car repair, unless you, even if you walk everywhere, maybe you want to save in case you end up moving to a location where you need a car. But usually that's one big item that people usually end up going into debt for, because all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we need a car because we got in an accident or whatever happens, and then they just end up going, it's too easy to get a loan for. So I feel like everybody needs some kind of car transportation sinking fund to help you to get around, because, you know, we got to get around. Okay, so another category that we have is home renovation, home repair. If you're a homeowner, there's always going to be home repair. You might need a new roof. You might need, I don't know, your boiler might go. You need to replace that. So some kind of home repair account or category is important, in my opinion. If you're renting, then maybe you want to have a category or a sinking fund or some kind of savings set aside to purchase a home. So we have a home renovation, home repair account. So money for any kind of things we want to do on the house, or like I said, repairs that need done. We have an account to save money for that. If you have pets, you probably might want to have a pet account or a pet category to save for those unexpected things that come up with pets, food, toys, vet bills, all that good stuff. So you might want to have a pet sinking fund. Travel and vacation. Not very many of us are really traveling these days. While we're in the midst of a world pandemic, but maybe you are planning on traveling in the future, or, you know, annually you go somewhere where you rent a house. However often you travel, you need money to do so. So some kind of travel vacation account is important. Usually if you're trying to get out of debt, then it's not the best time to be saving for this item, because it's not a necessity, it's just a want. So if you're out of debt though, and you're, you know, living the life debt free, paying for cash with stuff, then absolutely we have a vacation fund that we are saving. We like to go to the shore, although we haven't been for a while because I was like, I'm not taking little kids, it's too much work. But we were hoping to get back to it eventually, and so we do have a vacation fund. Medical, you might have a plan already set up where you automatically have money going in to save for medical expenses. We do not have a high deductible HSA plan. We have a PPO, but we still save money. We have a sinking fund actually for my husband's hearing aids, because he needs new hearing aids every 7 years, because he was born hearing impaired. He's been wearing hearing aids his entire life, so he always needs new hearing aids every 7 years. Those are not covered by insurance, and we do have to pay for those. So we do have a sinking fund set aside for that. And also, if you just, you know, go to the doctor a lot, just co-pays, whatever, I think it's important to have a medical sinking fund account. Okay, so definitely try to think about whatever you spend money on. All right, I've talked heavily on my channel about how important I think it is to track your spending every month, every year. I have a spreadsheet with columns in it, you know, 12 columns, one for every month, and then down the side I put down all the categories and I track for the year how much we spend. So at the end of the year is coming up. You can go through it, just look at the one sheet and see what we have spent money on throughout that entire year and see exactly how much and the categories, and then we can plan better for the next year. We can budget better. We can say, wow, we're overspending in this area, or we need to save more here, or, you know, whatever it is. It's just most important to know what you are spending your money on so that you can budget, save, plan, pivot, adjust, however is best for you and your family. But if you have no idea what you're spending your money on, then it's really hard to save for those things that you need money for. So definitely, as we go into the new year, let's make 2021, hopefully it's going to be a much better year. So really try to think about, or go back and look back in your, you know, however you track your spending, go back and look and see, you know, on your online bank statements, and maybe try to go through and make it a project if you haven't been doing it all along, to see what you've been spending your money on, so that way you can plan better for the new year and create some sinking funds. So, and you know what, it is just a magical experience when you have to pay for something, and maybe a big car repair comes up or something. It is just so awesome to just be able to say, all right, that's fine. Go ahead and do it because you know you have the money in your car account or your pet account. If your pet has to have some kind of surgery, it's a different experience when you can just say, when they tell you the price and you know you've got the money. It just really is different than when you know you don't have the money and it's completely stressful and you don't know where you're going to get the money. Or even just being able to know you have the money and then you're better able to make a decision as far as who you want to use for a renovation. You can have multiple contractors come out. If you're, toilets, if you need a bathroom repair, and you can get different bids, because you have the money and so you have a clearer head and you're able to really make a better decision as far as who you want to hire to do the job. And maybe it's not always about price. It might be about who you think is going to do the job best and who you have the best feeling about. But it just takes a lot of that emotion and stress and anxiety out of it when you've got the money set aside to do it. Or at least then hey, this person's in my budget and this person isn't, so I'm going to hire this person because this is how much money we have in our sinking fund. All around, it's just so much better. So I really encourage you to set up a couple extra accounts maybe or categories within your savings account for these items so that you can be prepared and you can go into them with confidence and go into them calmly and with money. Okay? All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe. I'm here every single week or every other week talking all about money. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Be well.